a browser extension for WhatsApp bulk messaging, from 250 to 1,000 messages per day from one account, without bans, 250 messages to cold numbers, and 1,000 to numbers you've chatted with before. These are the official limits stated on the Facebook Ads Manager page. How is it even possible to reach such volumes from a single regular account? This is all possible thanks to the built-in account warm-up and status boosting feature. Combined with the imitation of real human behavior, messaging to private chats and groups is done simultaneously, and lists can be uploaded mixed. And generally, messaging cold numbers you haven't contacted before is the riskiest scenario and usually leads to a ban. But with this extension, bans are completely avoided if you follow some very simple rules that I'll explain later. So, what can this extension do and how? Does it help me avoid getting my accounts banned? Let's start with the messaging. This browser extension fully mimics the actions of a real person, and not a bot. First, your message will be different every time, no matter how many messages you send. This is achieved using an advanced Spintax tool, and there's a separate lesson on it in the user guide. And it's designed so that out of 1,000 messages sent, not a single one will be identical, which will 100% look like a message from a real person. The second advantage, the message is typed directly into the message input field. So the system sees that there is text there, and that's important. It isn't sent instantly. It enters this field and stays there. Then comes the typing simulation of live text entry, and this significantly boosts your status in the WhatsApp anti-spam system. Third, the pauses between messages are always varied. That's exactly what a real user does. There are never fixed time intervals between sending messages, and the program does exactly the same. This is very important. Besides, the extension has other benefits like working with lists directly from Excel spreadsheets, meaning you can not only import tables with recipient numbers, but also save them after the mailing, while keeping all statuses, who received the message, who didn't, and the reason why it wasn't sent. So everything is recorded, right down to the error status. The number you're sending the message from is also saved. And later, you won't get confused about which account you used to chat with whom. This alone reduces the risk of being banned by 50% during follow-up mailings. The Excel data substitution feature, besides convenience, adds variety to messages, which also helps hide automation. By the way, you can also make the Excel substitution variable, and that's the ultimate level of message uniquization. The program also features a message preview system, which helps you see in advance how your client will see your message and if there are any errors. You can see this already with substitutions and Spintax generation, so you no longer need to send messages to yourself to check how they look in reality. Fourth, if you refresh the browser window or accidentally close it or even turn off the computer during the mailing, it's okay. You can continue the mailing from the exact spot where it was interrupted, because the program saves absolutely all settings in its memory. Pauses, the list of recipients we've already sent to, and those who haven't received the message yet. The message template, which by the way you can save directly from the extension to your disk for extra reliability, and also read it back. Importantly, the program has a safe mailing mode. And in this mode, according to WhatsApp, you can send up to 1,000 messages. The program will automatically avoid sending messages to those recipients with whom there was no prior correspondence. Now let's move on to blocks. What causes blocks in the WhatsApp system and how can you avoid them? How it usually happens. You take a database of potential clients, say about 100, and you send out your promotional message. This happens from a phone, a browser, or a CRM system, and you get a very good result. Zero investment, great return, you've got to repeat it. The next day, you load 200 numbers into the mailing, but you're a bit afraid of blocks. However, since it worked the first time, the desire to earn wins out, and you do a second mailing. The result is such that you realize you need to hit the button more often and send more. In short, the money button has been found. You need to connect accounts, gather databases. It's a simple matter, and the business is about to take off. 300, 400 messages, 3 or 4 days pass. Maybe a week and you get blocked. You send an unblock request and decide you need to act more cautiously. And overall, you're ready to compromise, but still send 100 to 200 messages per account daily. But you get blocked within the first few dozen messages. That's it, the mailing seems to have died. Let's figure out why this happens and what to do in this case to continue the mailing and avoid blocks. I have vast experience in mailings, not just on WhatsApp, but also email, vKontakte, Facebook, Telegram, Instagram, and other social networks and messengers. If I want to send messages without blocks, the average percentage of complaints within 24 hours should not exceed 1% of the total number of messages sent that day. So, For example, if I send 1,000 messages and receive 10 or fewer complaints, then everything is fine. If it's 11, the account is blocked immediately. These criteria are followed by most messengers and social networks. Of course, you might argue that there were cases where you sent 100 or maybe even 500 messages to a new client database. And you know for a fact that you were reported by more than 1% of recipients and the account somehow remained active despite that. That's correct. This happens when your account's reputation is high and you use it up over several days rather than all at once. But sooner or later, you'll reach this ratio. Less than 1%. So how do you achieve this less than 1%? It's very simple. Imagine that you sent 100 messages to clients and 5 of them complained about you. If there's no built-up reputation, you'll be blocked immediately. Now imagine this, that you sent those same 100 messages to the same clients and 5 of them complained in exactly the same way. However, besides that, you sent another 500 messages to contacts who definitely won't complain. What's the result? It turns out that it's 5 complaints out of 600 messages. And that is 0.8%. So the complaint rate will be under 1% and the account won't be blocked. What I've just described is a highly simplified model because it also takes into account who you are sending the messages to. Meaning you can't just press a button and send 500 messages to a nearby phone. The messages must be varied and they should be sent out evenly throughout the day. For 500 messages, at least 6 to 8 recipient accounts should be involved in the exchange. More messages require more accounts. And it's best if these accounts are on different IP addresses. The internet should be home, office, or mobile, but never from a provider that rents out server equipment. There are quite a few such nuances, and overall, this is called warming up and reputation maintenance. I have 3 working solutions that perform perfectly and allow you to send over 100 messages a day from a single account, consistently day after day, month after month, to numbers you haven't previously corresponded with. First, browser-based warming and mailing for those with about 5 to 15 mailing accounts. Mailing and warming are done via a tool using WhatsApp sessions through parallel Microsoft Edge browsers. This is likely the most common and affordable method right now, which you can actually try for free by downloading my program and getting a trial license immediately through the bot. The second method is warming and mailing directly from Android smartphones. The most advanced and reliable way to warm up mailings if you have over 20 accounts and plan to scale to thousands. I'll leave links to these programs below this video so you can check out their features and try them out for yourself. And finally, number 3, the method I'm suggesting in this video as the most suitable if you have 1 to 3 mailing accounts. This is browser-based mailing and warming in a single interface. There are no equivalents as of the release of this video. This is exactly what you're watching now if you're on my site, or you can find it via the link below if you're elsewhere. This mailing method is perfect for those using 1, 2, or 3 accounts. You can install this extension in Google Chrome, Opera, or Microsoft Edge browsers. When configured correctly, the extension mimics the behavior of a real user. And by using the warm-up feature between mailings, you can completely eliminate account blocking. Your warm-up messages will be answered not by browser versions of WhatsApp, but by real phones, each connected via its own SIM card to mobile internet. This ensures the best possible maintenance of your account status within the WhatsApp system. And as much as is fundamentally possible, it will distance you from the risk of being blocked. After all, if you don't exceed the limit of 250 messages to new numbers and up to 1,000 to existing contacts, use warm-up between mailings and get at least 60 replies for every 100 messages sent, then account blocking is essentially impossible. Now let's go through it step by step. What should you do right now to start your mailing? Step 1. Download the extension from the Google Chrome Web Store. The link is located under the video. It installs in just a few seconds. Step 2. Use the mailing feature absolutely free of charge. This basic functionality requires no payment and has no time limits. Step 3. Once you're convinced of its effectiveness, activate the trial period for the warm-up feature. In the top right corner of the extension, click Warm-up and follow the instructions to download the warm-up version. The terms for the free trial are listed on the extension's download page. Setting up the warm-up is even easier than the mailing itself, since you only need to press a single button. There are absolutely no technical hassles involved. My principle is simple. Results first and only then the decision to purchase. That's why I'm giving you the chance to test everything beforehand, especially since the core mailing feature stays free for you forever. So you're not risking anything at all. And when you see your sales growing, you'll naturally think about the next step, which is scaling up. And for a growing business, I have a very special offer right here. My extension turns every computer in your office into a 24/7 asset. Imagine employees go home, but their work accounts automatically warm up at night and on weekends around the clock. You're no longer dependent on the human factor, as the system itself maintains the reputation of your company's key accounts 24/7. And for teams of 10 or more, you get priority support and assistance with implementation. Even though installation at each workstation takes less than a minute, and for companies with over 50 employees, I'll personally conduct a demonstration and a full audit of your current mailing processes. During this session, we'll develop a pilot scenario together so you can see firsthand how this solution works, specifically for your tasks. This will allow you to make a purchase decision based on real results rather than just promises. So install the extension, run your mailings by the rules, use the warm-up, and forget about being blocked forever. And good luck with your mailings.